Welcome back, students. Okay, let us continue with our topic. So, have you all understood the goal of what was the goal, or that time we have thought in the policy that we have to achieve our country, India's progress and development. Okay, so that was there. For that purpose, the Constitution has specified the subjects to which the union and state governments should give priority in their policies for people's welfare through the directive principles of state policy. So there were some subjects. Subjects means what? Some matters where improvement is needed. Now I told you so many subjects: eradication of poverty, then education, then making all the facilities available, removing backwardness. All these are subjects. These are the matters of our country. So according to the subjects, then all the responsibilities and principles, rules were framed and given to the union and state government. Okay, and they were given, these rules and principles were given where? In the directive principles of state policy. Okay, and all these rules were framed according to the welfare of the people. Any rule or any whatever duty was done, that was only for the welfare of the people. Okay, each directive contains a subject for the state policy. See, each directive contains a subject, any one matter. Okay, this sector will look for the eradication of poverty. So one subject for every state policy was given. The makers of the Indian Constitution had realized that it would require a lot of resources if all these policies were to be implemented at the same time. So even that time we have understood that whatever are the backlogs in our country, whatever are the weaker points, can we improve all those at one time? Can we take out the policy for everything at one time? It was not it is not possible to implement all the policies at the same time. Means you have to do the eradication also, industrialization also, make people give the job employment also, then look after their health care also, give them food and nutritional food, and also give them shelter also. All these things were not possible at the same time because it will require more and more resources, and India was a poor country. Yes or no? India was not having all these resources so that we can carry out the implementation of all the principles at the same time. So then what was done? One subject at a one time. First bring improvement in whatever was the necessariest thing. First, I always tell you, after independence, our first goal was what? To make the India a self-sufficient country in food grains. Yes or no? Basic necessities of the people should be satisfied. That was the first aim of our Indian Constitution, of our Indian government after we got the independence. That nobody should die due to starvation. Okay, everyone should get at least basic and nutritional food. Okay, that is the reason why they did not make the directives binding upon the state like the fundamental rights. So that's why it is not a binding or obligation. Like now we have studied in the previous two lessons that fundamental rights are binding legally. They are legally provided. Yes or no? Means nobody can escape under by saying that fine kiya to kiya, nahi kiya to no. They are, the fundamental rights are binding. Whatever are given in the Constitution, you are bounded by those rights. Okay, but due to all these reasons, state cannot carry out the improvement at the same time, though the principles are given in the Constitution in the preamble, but it is not a binding on the state government. Okay, कि ये principle अगर नहीं follow हुआ तो you will be taken or you will be sued legally. That is not the binding on the state government. Everybody is understanding? No legal action can be taken against them, but that doesn't mean, but still they have to carry out their duties. Okay, so that is why the directive principles are not binding as like the fundamental rights upon the state. They expected that state should implement them slowly and steadily. So whatever directive principles are given, see, the state has to do this and this. The second principle, the state have to carry on this and this. Whatever the list of principles are given, these principles have to be achieved by the state slowly and steadily. Okay, everyone has understood up till here? Let us see now what are the directive principles. Everybody will be curious to know. So what are the actually principles? So let us see some important directive principles of state policy. The state should secure adequate means of livelihood to all citizens without any gender discrimination. The state should see that whatever minimum, adequate means what, at least normal, okay, minimum whatever requirements are there, whatever basic needs are there of all the citizens should be secured by the state, okay, should be made available to the state. Means we don't have to, now we need food, we need water, and whatever is air, shelter, all these are our basic needs, yes or no? So at least state should assure, they should see to it that the areas where there is water problem or the areas, backward areas where they are not getting the food or nutritional food and people or children are dying there, then their duty is to provide them to these places, okay. So they should secure all these means of livelihood to the citizens without any gender discrimination. Gender means what? Male, female, okay. So there should be no discrimination that, okay, these people are male, so facility should be given to them, and these are female, so facility should not be given to them. So no discrimination, no differences should be made on that basis. The state should secure equal pay for equal work for both men and women. The state should also secure that everyone, because see, by doing this, they are exercising the right to equality, yes or no? First point also shows right to equality, second point also shows right to equality. Same work is done by male and same work is done by women. Then why there should be difference in pay just because they are men and women? No. Everyone should get the equal pay for their equal work, okay. Then the state should secure the improvement of public health. Yes, previously when we were just after independence, many people were having very bad health issues, yes, because they were not getting enough food to satisfy their, or they were not getting nutritional food. So all these things used to lead what? To the health problems, and public was really, and no medical proper treatments or facilities were available in their backward places. So that's why there was a need to check the public health and see to it that we are improving on that side, okay. Next, the state shall endeavor to protect and improve the environment and safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. What do you mean by endeavor? Endeavor means try hard, okay. Try hard. The state should try hard to protect and improve the environment. Also, environment is necessary. If there is a balance, if our environment is clean, then everything is good, yes or no? If we are staying in hygiene places, our around surrounding our is clean, then there will be no health issues also. So that responsibility is also there. The state should look after it and also safeguard the forest and wildlife. Means there is endanger, hunters are coming and so many are there, they are hunting the animals. So the state should secure all these animals in the sanctuaries, in the zoos and all. They should be taken care of them, okay. They have to preserve this wildlife of the country. The state shall protect all monuments of historic interest and national importance. That is very important, because if we will preserve हमारे जो previous history, all rich monuments are there. We have studied in the lesson also that with so many paintings and architects and beautiful things our people has done that time, right? So there is a need to preserve all these monuments, and that because they are also our pride, that is our pride of the country, yes or no? And even it is happening as a tourist place for the people who are coming to visit, and then when the people are coming to visit to see all these monuments, when they are coming, then we get money, we are getting earnings from the tourist people, yes or no? So that will again increase our financial or economic side of the country. So that's why the state should protect all these. The state shall promote with special care the educational and economic interest of the weaker sections of the people, especially the scheduled caste and tribes. I told you previously, the people were, before independence also, the people were discriminated. There was no right to equality before independence. We didn't had independence, so constitution was not there. So before that, people were ill treated. They were treated very badly on the basis of their caste. I told you untouchables, if you remember. Untouchables यानी अछूत लोग were not allowed to sit with the normal people, to touch the well, to enter the house. Nowhere they were allowed. They were just given very hard and very hard laborious work. Only work, no food, nothing, and very badly they were treated. So this way people have been tortured by them due to their caste. Okay, so after we got independence, the more attention was given to this, and this was removed. Okay, what is that? Right to equality means no discrimination should be made on the basis of caste and religion, right? So now there is no discrimination on the basis. Scheduled caste people and tribes people are also given importance, and we are also looking for the educational and economic development of our country. Okay, so that first those people were not allowed to give the education also. They were not allowed to take the education just because they belong to the other caste. But now all the facilities should be given by the state so that we can promote the welfare of these scheduled caste people. Okay, I will continue my next video.